I love it.
Shooting from the hip, Bubs. That's what we do. That's what we do best. That's why we are the best. And by we, I mean you and me. We are the Collar and Elbow Wrestling Podcast, Bubs. And there's many imitators. Often imitated, never duplicated. That's our appeal, is that we're so damn good. We make it look entirely too difficult. I don't know why we make it look so hard, but here we are.
If they were aware of all these back scene, behind the stage struggles that we go through, well, now they know because
we went live for
we leaked a little bit.
And all hell broke loose.
Pre-recording shot down. It wasn't so good.
No. Buzz,
but we're struggling. We're trying to make it.
Yes. Are you currently recording on the audio side for the
podcast,
for the iTunes folks?
I'm over here doing the angle for the Google folks and the Stitcher world and the streamers out there and iTunes as well. So I'm doing my part.
Streamers, and I don't know if they exist. I don't have any hard data.
You're a guy who's
right.
been relying on...
I can show you proof.
On the data, on the viewers, the download numbers, right?
Data is what matters, you idiot.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but when you try to discredit how great we are doing this,
I'm not
all
discrediting
these episodes,
how great we are.
You are. You're saying no one's listening to it.
We are 2 years into this thing. We're on episode 54, talking WWE TLC, which is tomorrow, believe it or not.
Okay.
And... I would never discredit what we've done. What we've done is nothing short of miraculous. That we've done this for this long and haven't...
Or it's because we're so bored.
We've got nothing else going on in life, Bubs.
But we are expanding and trying to find new ways to find our niche, Bubs. Our niche has not been found yet through 54. We've hit it in pieces. Little spots here and there.
We hit a stride there last year around Wrestle Kingdom, and I don't know what happened. Something happened.
A lot of people quit downloading. A lot of people moved off iTunes. Maybe I don't know.
Bubs.
I don't know what happened.
Maybe they're the ones streaming, and it's not showing in my data.
There you go. They're still here. They're over here giving us some stuff. They're streaming.
Please
through...
let us know if you are.
Spotify is where they get their content.
Oh man, extreme close up. But yes, we are currently live right now, Bubs, on YouTube Live. We're on our channel, 6 Star Productions. I'm going to click on... Oh, jeez. I am listening to myself.
Oh,
Buzz, what are we doing? Okay, we're terrible. Okay. But anyway, I'm Kenny Oak, joined as always by Chris Harris, or at Chris B. Quick. On Twitter, you can find me at Kenny Oak Sports. And I've already alluded to it. This is episode 54, and we are talking WWE TLC. And not only do I want to kind of talk about the pay-per-view coming up tomorrow, WWE TLC, if you haven't heard, but I also want to kind of talk about the state of WWE as it is right now. A lot of things to kind of delve into, but I also want to talk about the history of TLC in general. Going all the way back to, when was the first TLC? 2000, I believe it was.
The match? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I want to kind of jump into that, and there's just so much to get into. We're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Yes, because it's been time.
That's only a few weeks away.
It's the best time of the year to stay up until 2 a.m. to watch great wrestling content.
Yes. Bubs, I'm really excited about this live. We're going live now. We're now Collar and Elbow live. Kind of like SmackDown live.
Like SmackDown, yeah.
Yes. So people
only better.
There's no editing here. People will get to see us at our rawest and most ridiculous and idiotic, which is a real treat. I mean, it really is.
It's a real lawsuit, is what it can be. We need to be careful.
You're right.
I gotta stay PG, except when I get heated. I don't want to talk about Rusev or Bray Wyatt when we're live because I'll get mad. Frustration sets in really easy with me. You know this. So
I'm just watching us live, Bubs, on YouTube because we are live now.
Okay. We're plugging ourselves on our own show.
No one else is going to. Might as well be us.
It can be us right now. That's fine. We'll plug ourselves later, though, on the socials.
Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into the proceedings. We've got what looks like it could be, minus the build, which just, in my opinion, hasn't been there. This has all the makings of a really good card tomorrow.
Yeah. On paper, this is fucking deep. It's got everybody we want in it. It's got good stipulation matches. We're getting TLCs. We're getting individual tables and chairs and ladder matches, even though a guitar is strapped to one of them.
Yes.
Vince Russo. So there's a lot of great stuff in here.
Wait for Judy Bagwell to make her appearance, Bubs.
The dirt sheets are saying she's going to come around, Bubs. So if you believe it.
And the dirt seats are they're there also. Man, what are you drinking tonight, Bubs?
I have my girly frou-frou drink tonight. This is cranberry and there's vodka in it. So it's one of those nights. I'm not feeling hard. I don't want to drink anything on the rocks.
I'm drinking rum and Coke right now, but I'm going to chase that down with Red's Wicked Black Cherry.
Okay, two very unrespected things by themselves.
What?
Okay.
How is rum and Coke not respected?
Well, it depends on, because you're putting...
It's the drink, Bob.
The hard whiskey and bourbon drinkers will tell you, just put it on some rocks and sip it down.
Those guys have their own issues that they're dealing with in life. Like depression, sadness,
anxiety,
hate.
Okay. I don't have any of those, so I guess that's why I'm comfortable drinking my cranberry like a man.
Yeah.
But I'm actually glad we're doing this live, Bubs, because a lot of this stuff is we've been talking, for 2 years. We talk before we go live, and all of our funniness and the ridiculous stuff, the natural charisma that you and I both possess that is just so deep and wound within us comes out then. And it's so deep. And now it's going to be forced out here into the crowd. I'm going to have to watch my mouth a little bit.
So first of all, we're not forcing anything onto anybody. In light of the current climate of the world, we are not forcing anything onto anybody. So no one has to worry about that. You can't say things like that anymore, Bubs. Yeah, not in this climate.
Yeah, you put it in your ear if you hear it. No.
God, come on. But I'm also kind of glad that we're doing this live now because there's so many mistakes that happen when we record. And before, when we first started this, I was thousands of miles away. I was in a completely different country, completely different part of the world. I was in Afghanistan. And, Bubs, you were the sole editor, sole producer of this show. And with a poor internet connection on my end, we constantly lost each other, and we had to guess what each other was saying when one person finished the sentence. We had to kind of guess when that happened, and so we were always stumbling over each other. But it's
those early episodes are hard to listen to. So start here at 54 with us, hang out. We're going forward.
Don't work your way backwards.
They get better after 18 or 20.
That's how far we've come, Bubs. We're way beyond that. We're only a couple states away from each other now. The recording devices are much better. Before, all I had was a really terrible headset. Over the ear with a little microphone. That's what I was using. Didn't have a camera. We didn't do video at all. And now I've got brand new camera, coming at you in full 1080p. Haven't upgraded I have upgraded to the Blue Snowball, but I'm gonna be fully upgrading to almost studio quality stuff here soon. So, God, we've come a long way, Bubs.
Ferguson.
We're not directly sponsored by them, but I pay the bills, so we kind of are.
That's right. We have done a lot of stuff since number one, Bubs. Some of our stuff back then was rough living, but we've gone through a lot of ideas now, and we got a way forward with our own niche. And as of late, you're going to see that through the next probably, I would imagine, 5 episodes or so, depending on how our Florida connections go. Here's a little teaser for you, but we'll see where that really goes. And
yeah, we've got a lot of exciting things coming at you. We're going to start doing a series of interviews with people in different industries, showing people trying to make it, people that have already made it, but just trying to share their love people who love pro wrestling or have loved it before just want to delve into that and also giving them a platform to kind of share where they're going in life. So very exciting stuff, and I'm excited. I hope it translates well onto the screen. But hey, I think it's time for us to finally jump into what we are here for, and that's WWE TLC 2018.
Bubs, are you watching it tomorrow?
I am going to watch it.
Okay, so we talked about the card last week. It's a huge card.
Yes.
This pay-per-view it's been important for WWE because the match itself, you match did wonders back in the day, because it's 5-star, right? It's top 15, top 20 match of all time.
Yes.
TLC number 2, better, So since then we've gotten the pay-per-view itself, and over the years there's been some clunkers, there's been some garbage.
Yes.
But it seems like they're trying to make it extremely relevant, like they're trying to do with Money in the Bank. I like that. And we're going to get some interesting matches here. If you don't like a ladder match, I don't know what's wrong with you, because most of them, just by the stipulation, they're forced to almost be good. They're forced to have some drama in them, regardless of who's in it, even if it's the fucking Big Show.
Something, I don't know what it is about the ladder stipulation, but going all the way back to the very first televised ladder match, or the first WrestleMania ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, no one knew what to expect going into it, and it tore the house down. They did it again at SummerSlam, I believe the next year, or that year, either that year or the next year, I don't remember. But I don't think I've watched a ladder match where I've come out of it bored or felt that either guy kind of was, dragged it down. Ladder matches just inherently lends itself to being a fun match.
Yeah. And in the Attitude Era, the table match is something we lived for. The Dudleys helped us out with that one.
Yes.
So we're not getting a high-profile tables match here by any means, but the idea of somebody going through a table in some means is always an exciting thing. Having chairs in a chair match is an exciting thing to think about the possibilities that what the hell can a Rey Mysterio do with a chair, Or how can Randy Orton RKO him with a chair, basically, is how it's going to come down to, I imagine. So a lot of stipulation, a lot of important stuff is happening here. The Baron Corbin storyline is very important with Braun Strowman. Regardless of what you think of Corbin, he's been excellent since he's been put in that Raw GM role. It's been great for his character. It's been great for him personally. I'm sure it built a hell of a lot of confidence in him. Conferences here. God, don't edit this out. And then, whether you like it or not, we're going to get Rollins and Ambrose and probably a title change there, whether or not you think that's good or bad. So a lot of things, Bubs.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued with the Corbin thing. I think it might lend itself into what happens when Vince McMahon shows up on Raw on Monday,
right,
which is something that I want to kind of talk about later on, where that might lead. But there's a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of intriguing storylines, honestly, other than the Raw GM thing. But I think there's a lot of intriguing matchups, which can kind of, help a poor build. And you see it a lot in MMA, where you have a card that they're not putting a lot of time in promoting, getting you excited about it, but just looking at the matchups, you go, okay, this is going to be a really, I can't miss this, because, this fight's going to be really good. This one's going to be really good. So that's the kind of feel I have with this card is, there's not a lot of promotion that's gone into it. I'm not that excited about the card, about the pay-per-view itself, or any of the stories going into it. But looking at the matchups, I go, okay, this could be really good. This match could be really good. And so now I'm excited to watch it, because these matches are going to be, or should be, good.
Right. And what they've done with how they've booked this is there's good and bad to this. There's like 12 matches on the card right now. We don't know exactly which ones are going to be pre-show or not. But when they overload a card like this, you look at it on paper and it's like, golly, that's a lot of time. But yeah, it is. If you want to sit through it all, it's going to waste a lot of your time if you don't like a lot of it. But what it's also doing is it's giving you a couple things in there that you're almost guaranteed to like. You're guaranteed to like your favorite guy. You're guaranteed to see a hell of a match between Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander. That's going to tear the house down. Doesn't matter what they do. You get to see Drew McIntyre, right? You get to see the man, Becky Lynch, in this triple threat match. Like, if that's all you really care about, you're going to get to see that. Obviously, you're going to have to sit through an hour or two of some stuff that you're just, indifferent towards. But with these huge cards like this, there's always going to be something in there that you're going to remember, that you're going to like. And I think that's why they book these deep 10, 12, 14 match cards now on some of these pay-per-views.
But that's still so much. Like, yeah, there's bound to be something that you're going to like, but why do I have to just, like, drudge through all of it to get to that one thing that I'm going to like? Why not condense it and have everything that I like, wrapped up into 6, maybe 7 matches? NXT does it all the time.
Right. There's a lot more talent on the main roster, though.
Well, I get that. I understand that. But the way that you turn people into superstars is you give them, there's not a lot of spots on a show. And if you put someone on that's in the show, give them a spot. You're saying, okay, this guy is a star. And you see more of them, and you're able to, you have longer matches. Yeah. That person is able to shine. And so, you can fall in love with these people that way. And they did it for so many years until now. Why do they have to make these 5-hour, 6-hour, 7-hour shows? Including the show. It doesn't make sense.
I think because money doesn't matter anymore. Pay-per-view buys used to matter. Because the idea of making money in Vince McMahon's eyes was needed still. Now, the dude doesn't need money. The product doesn't need money. Now you have all the talent in the world. You have a ridiculous roster on the main roster, at least. And you can say, well, I have my own network. I can make this as long of a pay-per-view as I want. It's up to him, right? He's not being controlled by the pay-per-view system itself like he was.
No, which is genius. Which is absolutely genius.
Absolutely, yep. Now he can say, well, you know what? I'm only going to put on a 2.5 hour, like, Roadblock pay-per-view or Backlash pay-per-view, and that's acceptable. Or he can be like, you know what? Here's SummerSlam. I'm going to give you 6 hours of total content to include pre-show. That's ridiculous, but he can do it because he can fill 16 matches with people. And he can give them all a little piece, because everyone in the crowd is wearing their shirt for a Finn Balor. Someone's wearing a shirt for the Usos. Someone's wearing a shirt for even a fucking Baron Corbin. And they compete.
But you're all naming guys that could be on a card that has 6 or 7 matches. You can have because Finn Balor is, whether we believe it or not, or think the guy is a charisma vacuum or not, Finn Balor is a top guy according to the fans.
Yep.
The Usos are the best tag team in wrestling.
Yep.
Baron Corbin is, like it or not, he's your top heel right now on Raw. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm not buying it.
If they did what you're saying, then they're going to leave out guys like a Rey Mysterio. He's not going to make the card. Fans are going to hate that.
You're telling me Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton aren't making that card?
If you're going to bring it down to 5 or 6 matches, maybe 7, that match, because it's an irrelevant match, it's just a feud match, it means nothing. Randy Orton's not even chasing a spot for the WWE Championship right now.
All of them, there's 15, 16, 17 matches, and if there's 12 of them that are irrelevant already.
Right.
So
people want to see Rey Mysterio.
Through it.
Because a quarter of the crowd is there to see good matches, and to them a good match is seeing the 619 countered into an RKO. That's what they want.
How is that going to that'll be interesting to see.
It'll happen.
Maybe the West Coast Pop gets countered.
Yeah.
That would be good.
These aren't going to stop, Bubs. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for a creative. There's something creative has to happen tomorrow in that match for an RKO to happen. It's going to be nice to see.
Yes. Why don't you go ahead and run down the card for us?
I know you're excited, and this okay. So the mixed match challenge, right? Let's start there real quick because I have the bone to pick. Now it meant something. About a month, maybe a little more than a month ago, they announced that the winners become entrant number 30 in their respective Royal Rumbles, the men and the women's Rumble, and
so
of course,
telling me R-Truth is going to be number 30.
That's unfortunately what I'm telling you, because he's so over right now with the dance break
He
thing.
has always been over.
And
Something about Archer.
I don't know. He's a workhorse, and he's...
He is. He takes whatever he's given, and he runs with it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The whole little Jimmy thing, he turned that into a main event spot against John Cena at Capital Punishment.
And not too long ago, Carmella was the top of the SmackDown card. Yes. So that only makes sense. The Jinder Mahal angle is well beyond overused now, and Alicia Fox is hated. So I don't see that to use two grossly hated heels as your number 30 entrances. I don't like it all. So it's truth in Carmella there for me. But why was this not the Miz's spot? We kind of expected this to be the Miz to come in number 30, slide in at number 30.
Because Asuka has been thrusted into the SmackDown Women's.
I know, and I feel like because of how good she's been, this hurt the Miz a little bit too, because we don't want to see Asuka come in at number 30 because she'd fucking win it again, right?
Yeah.
But the Miz, we want to see him come in at 30, get a dirty heel sneaky win because he came in and was in the match for 3 minutes.
I know.
Oh, I would love it.
I'm so
but that's gone now.
To see who they have win the Royal Rumble.
It's going to be crazy, Bubs.
I don't know who it's going to be.
I still want to talk about the Miz when we talk about the Royal Rumble in January.
Okay.
So, but you got to. I think that sounds like some pre-show card stuff for me right there. Because boo Jinder lately, boo Alicia, get it off my TV type of stuff.
But it's more X-Pac heat than we legitimately boo him because he's a terrible heel. No, it's boo him because we don't want him on our screen anymore.
I would like him as champion again. Let's talk about that when the time comes.
Yes. All right. So run down the card for us.
All right. So let's get through that one. So then we got the IC title, Bubs, Rollins and Ambrose. Okay. There is a feud there.
Yes.
Strowman versus Corbin. We talked about that. That's a TLC match. That one has good stipulation in it for Strowman and Corbin. Mm-hmm. Ronda versus Nia. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. But now they're using this Nia Jax punching out Becky Lynch thing. Now they're using that to push Nia Jax. Man,
they did it. They did a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I find that ridiculous, but okay.
It's great heat. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Bubs, a simple rematch there. Don't expect a title change.
No, not at all.
This should be your match of the night here. Triple threat: Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Asuka for the SmackDown title.
Possible match of the night.
Finn Balor to lose to Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
And then Elias versus Bobby, the guitar strapped up top of the ladder.
I can't wait to get into our picks, Bubs. There's so much to delve into here.
The SmackDown tag titles, the Bar versus the New Day versus the Usos. That'll be good regardless of where they put it. Natty versus Ruby Riott in the tables match. Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title. And Ray versus Randy Orton in a chair match. So 12 matches total. I imagine 2 of those for sure should be on the pre-show, and then we'll have still a really heavy main roster card to get through. So you're looking at a 3-hour plus pay-per-view tomorrow, Bubs.
Okay. Yes, it's going to be long. Hopefully it starts at a reasonable time, so that way I have to wake up really early, Bubs. So I'm hoping that doesn't last too long.
I'm going to need you to watch it because we'll be tweeting live the whole night. So.
Well, one of us will.
Okay.
There's a baby in the house. You know this. You don't cover your face. I don't need this from you.
Moving on. What do you got to say, Bubs? What's on your mind right now? Big card. A lot of stuff to talk about here. Match of the night potentials?
AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
No way.
Just at a sheer work rate, those two.
It won't be. It will not be a work rate match whatsoever.
It absolutely will.
It will be a heel, dirty, nonsensical match that we don't care about. It will continue the feud.
Ending,
that is
the
it.
ending, maybe, but the match itself is going to be good.
Okay.
The women's triple threat match is going to be good. The SmackDown Live Tag Team triple threat is going to be. There's no way that's going to be bad. It can't be anything less than great with those 3 teams. They've proven it time and time again.
Give them some time.
For the past 2 years, they've feuded with each other, and it's been phenomenal.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, it's going to be good. The Cruiserweight Championship is going to be phenomenal. It's going to.
Yep.
I keep using the term phenomenal. That's going to be great. The Cruiserweight division is really it's latched on now. It's
Mustafa Ali.
It's gotten its footing. I think there's a lot of good things coming from that division right now, and exciting things are happening. Mustafa Ali, we just saw him wrestle the WWE champion on SmackDown Live.
It's great booking.
It was, and that's what you get with Daniel Bryan as champion. You can bring anyone up to face him, and he can make them feel credible. Oh man, went my see.
There we go. We're falling apart at the seams here.
It always happens. But
I agree. I loved Daniel Bryan in this position now. You can bring up anybody. You can bring up another challenger from 205 and another challenger, and he can keep, just kind of putting them away, but putting on great matches at the same time with these guys, because that match, it was pretty good for the time that he was given, and for them to put Ali in that spot, Bubs, to lead off a SmackDown, that's got to say something about how they feel about not just the Cruiserweight division, but about Mustafa Ali, huh?
Yeah, and he's got a great look. He is a hell of a worker. He's got the moniker, the Heart of 205 Live, for a reason, Bubs. Mm-hmm. And all right, I'm back. He's called that for a reason, and to put him in that position says a lot. It not only says a lot about him as a performer, but it says a lot about how at least SmackDown is viewing the Cruiserweight division and some of the stars there. We've seen a ton of Cruiserweights in history, become big stars. Rey Mysterio is a great example of that. Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. These guys, at the time, they're shoehorned as a Cruiserweight. And a lot of times I hate that stigma that they get. However, someone like Mustafa Ali, when he wrestles a Daniel Bryan, who he looks bigger than. He's the same size as him, but he's taller. He's got a better build than him. You go, okay. I mean, I haven't seen this guy. How do I check him out? You're like, oh, he's the Heart of 205 Live. What's that? You start looking into it, and that's how you get eyes on it. Guys start to become bigger stars, and then you can move them up to become a fixture on SmackDown. Get them in the heavyweight division. Mm-hmm. So I am a big fan of that, and I'm glad to see that we've talked about 205 Live. It was floundering for a while, the Cruiserweight division, and that sucked because we were always big fans of Cruiserweights. At least I was, and we talked about our love of the Cruiserweight division of past. So it's really good to see that these guys are, once. Something clicked about a few months ago. Who was it that took over 205 Live's booking? Was it Triple H that took over 205 Live?
I don't think he was booking. No.
I remember something.
We had a discussion though about some significant changes and how the match and the work rate was getting better.
Yeah.
But neither of us watched the shit, so we only saw highlights of everything after that.
But the Cruiserweights have stepped up, and I think we're going to see a lot more of them here coming up soon.
And I hope they continue to put people in positions like they did with Ali. Cedric Alexander's another great guy. I think they can slide up into there to see what happens. But, Bubs, when are we going to start to see, and it could be immediately after this, I want to talk about Drew McIntyre, because after this we get the Royal Rumble, and then we go on about a 2-month hiatus of major pay-per-views, and then we're at WrestleMania.
Yes. So,
not to start booking too long out from here, but is Drew McIntyre in the main event picture for WrestleMania already, or is this not his year?
That is a really, really interesting question to delve into. It has to be soon, because he had so much momentum, rolling with Dolph Ziggler. But since they kind of had this impromptu breakup, and that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did nothing with it either. No feud, really.
Absolutely.
They just kind of
had a couple matches, and that was it.
And now Ziggler's face. So
Yeah, and you're not gonna see anything from him soon.
Nope.
But they've done nothing with McIntyre. He's been in the ring with Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin. He's essentially just been a lackey for Corbin, which is not him at all. Like, that is not what Drew McIntyre's character is or should be.
Because what you want is, they had the great segment where they injured Braun Strowman to send him off to his actual surgery. They had that segment. But what you want is, you want tons of that Braun Strowman and him interaction. You want him and Brock Lesnar interaction to really believe that a guy like Drew can beat either of those two as champion. You have to see them often. You have to see them both put in precarious situations and have McIntyre go over maybe once or twice, or get the fucking Claymore kick and land it on Braun or something like that, because the more distance you keep between Braun and him, or him and Brock Lesnar, then the less believability Drew has. And if you want us to buy into him being a main eventer, I need some believability soon.
And how do we get that, though? Is it the Royal Rumble? Does he win the Royal Rumble?
I don't think they need I don't want to say waste the Rumble with him.
That's not a waste, Bubs.
Necessarily
it's
getting
Drew McIntyre.
I know, but I mean, he's already in the scene for Raw, where it makes more sense for a SmackDown guy, I think, to win it, because you have Braun at the top of the Raw situation. You have Brock, you have McIntyre, and then we're gonna have Seth Rollins. Like, that main event scene is set. Whereas on SmackDown, you have AJ, you have Daniel Bryan. Do we have The Miz in there at the top?
I mean, he's someone you can plug in, plug and play at all times.
He's believable to throw in, but we haven't seen him, aside from him, like, more than a month ago, he said he called next. That kind of faded, because he's been doing this mixed match tag team stuff. And I don't know. I think it makes more sense at this point to lend it to a SmackDown person. But we have time.
Yeah, but we had a SmackDown person win it last year.
Okay, well, they didn't do anything with it, Bubs. Come on now.
He had a match at WrestleMania.
And that he should have won. I get it. Okay.
There's so much we could talk about that. I want to talk about... that'd be a great episode, Bubs. Just the worst Rumble winners, and just how...
Oh,
not really.
You're going to call him a worst?
Not the... I'm not
Words
saying
matter.
he's the worst. I'm saying Rumble winners that were absolutely wasted.
Okay.
Is that better? Does that make you happier?
I guess it makes me happier. We can talk about Batista right after that, but...
Bootista.
Bootista.
Oh, God, no one was surviving that Royal Rumble at all. With Daniel Bryan not winning, no one was going to...
Damn, does it not? Man, I think it's Alberto Del Rio if we're picking anybody. Come on.
Yeah, he went on to lose to Edge. And then nothing happened after that.
Nothing happened.
Well, he did. He ended the Summer of Punk, Bubs. He's the one who took the title off of... Because he won Money in the Bank that year, didn't he?
He won Money in the Bank it was that year, actually, wasn't it?
He won the Rumble and then Money in the Bank.
Okay, but the Rumble did shit for him, though. Absolutely nothing.
It did. I think if they knew Edge was retiring, Del Rio wins that match.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't know, because Edge is one of the... I don't want to get started on Edge, because then I'll be talking for hours.
We don't have time. Yeah. What's next on your mind, though, Bubs?
All right,
Bubs,
what? Do you want to go ahead and hop into our predictions?
We can talk about that, and I can ask my follow-up question afterwards.
Okay.
But we'll start from this, and we'll just kind of work our way down, Bubs. How do you feel?
All right. You control the segment, Bubs.
Very good. The Fabulous Truth versus Mahalisha. That's how I almost couldn't say it. Where are we going, Bubs? Who's coming in 30th in the Royal Rumble? That's actually my question. Is it Jinder Mahal or is it R-Truth?
I want to say... I mean, logically, I'm picking the Fabulous Truth. Okay. However, I could see WWE going with the heels to just kind of build that heat for them. The Fabulous Truth is already over.
Right.
Maybe they want to try and get Jinder back to where he was a year ago, 2 years ago.
I support that, if that's the angle.
I'm not upset with it.
Okay.
But I do think the fabulous WWE has a tendency of having the people that the crowd is in super hot for, which for some reason the crowd is super hot for Fabulous Truth. They have a tendency of just rolling with that, whether it makes sense or not. But I just thought of something. Before we get into our predictions, I want to discuss what Vegas thinks of TLC and what the current betting odds are.
Oh. I assume you have them up because I didn't pull them up.
I do.
Okay, what are we talking?
All right, so for this match, and actually, I'll go through them. I'll give that match's odds after we pick the winners.
Ah, there you go.
But I'm going to go with the Fabulous Truth.
As will I. Fabulous Truth to win. Our Truth coming out number 30 is going to be an exciting point for the crowd to use because they may be, not so.
Break.
Yeah, he's going to dance break the crowd. You cannot hate our Truth. So towards the end of that Rumble, when those matches are pretty long, it'll boost him back up for the ending, which, he should get eliminated rather quickly.
Yeah, because he's going to dance in the middle of the ring, and he's going to get tossed.
Yeah, he'll honestly think that the Rumble is a ladder match or something like that, or a steel cage, and he'll try to maneuver his way out of there. Yes. But what's Vegas say, Bubs?
Vegas has them a -300 favorite, Bubs.
Okay, good.
So they're pretty strong betting favors there.
That
favorites.
Is nice.
Favors.
All right, let's talk about the chair match then, Bubs, and the creativity that can come from a senior like Randy Orton and a Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
how you feeling?
Both guys who have been in this business for so long, families have been in the business for so long. These guys, wrestling is in their blood. It's going to be an okay match. It's Randy Orton. He has a tendency to coast a lot of times, a lot. Rey Mysterio, he's great, but he is up there in age, and it's really dependent on how Randy Orton performs here, because you can get Randy Orton at WrestleMania 31 against Seth Rollins, which was fantastic, or you can get,
him versus Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Okay.
Which was terrible. But I'm going to go with Randy Orton here.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you right there, too, Bubs. The heel push of Randy Orton needs to be cemented a little bit more, so let's see some dirty stuff from Orton in that chair. Let's see some nice counters. I want to see Ray take a creative RKO.
And Vegas agrees with us, Bubs. Randy Orton is a slight betting favorite at -160.
Good. Should be a good match,
and for anyone who doesn't know how Vegas odds work, at least the plus-minus kind of thing that they do for sports and fights. So Randy Orton being a -160 favorite means you have to, in order to win $100, you have to bet $160. And Rey Mysterio is +120, so if you bet $100, you win $120. So that's just kind of how the odds for that they have them here work. So if you hear me say minus, that means -160 you have to bet 160 to win 100, plus 120 you have to bet 120, or you bet $100 you win 120. That's how it works.
That's Ken's MMA talk coming through a lot from his UFC collaborations over there at Kenny Oak Sports, doing some great stuff in the combat sports realm, Bub. So let's move on here. This should make the main card. If it doesn't, I'll be upset. But cruiserweight match here, Bubs. Buddy Murphy, extremely over. Cedric Alexander, extremely over and very good in the ring as well. This is going to be fun. And the reason I said it earlier about match, like show-stealing type stuff, is this will be early in the card, maybe lower to mid at best. But the match itself, if they give it some time, could be just tremendous, just like they did at the Showdown in Australia when he won this. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, and talk about a career reconnaissance. So I've been drinking. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. A resurgence of sorts. Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
I don't know.
Write that down.
But just think of the year Buddy Murphy has had. Where he was a year ago. Were we talking about him other than, man, he's bagged Alexa Bliss. Good for him.
All we said was Alexa Bliss, and good for you, buddy. That's all he needed to do, but he's like, I want more.
I want to be the best cruiserweight in the world. And, barring Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, he's done that. And he's got the belt to prove it.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy for him. And, could you imagine Alexa Bliss, let's say she doesn't get cleared to wrestle for a while, or they just pull the trigger on this, they have her be his manager. Imagine the heat he would get with that. Or you can bring him onto to Raw or SmackDown.
He'd have to show up on the main roster for that to work, but yes, that's some stuff that they plan to do. I bet if they don't go with her as the GM role like they're talking about to replace Corbin, which I think will be much more likely.
Okay. But I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy retaining. I don't think there's going to be a lot of title changes here. And this is going to be... It has the potential to be the match of the night, whether it's on the pre-show or as long as they give it the time.
Yes.
I think we'll see. That's one of those things you just never know.
If you want me to gain more believability and give the cruiserweight some credibility, you gotta give me some long-term reigns, and I need that to happen. Yes. Alexander's was decent. I want Buddy Murphy's to be just as long. He needs to hold it till the WrestleMania weekend, and I want him to hold it till the WrestleMania weekend. So also, I'm taking Buddy Murphy for sure. Alexander should not win here, and the odds should easily reflect that one, I imagine.
It does, and the only way Cedric wins, I think, is if there's an out-of-the-blue heel turn, which I don't see happening. So Buddy Murphy, I think, wins. We both pick him. So does Vegas. They currently have him at minus 185, and Cedric Alexander is plus 145. So it's close.
That's not bad.
He's not heavily favored, but that's one of those things you just don't know where WWE is going to go here.
Yeah.
But we both feel he retains.
Okay. Now, Bubs, we avoided talking about this earlier. At least I avoided bringing it up. But we're going to talk about Natty versus Ruby Riott in this table match.
I knew you were going with that.
Do you care? Because this is what the internet has been saying. Now, we love to talk about the internet in here, and especially on our platform. They've been using a lot of Jim the Advil Neidhart.
They have been.
In this segment, and to include Ruby breaking his glasses. He was basically like in poster form on the table that she brought out on Raw. So do you care? Does it make you feel squeamish a little bit that now that he's dead, Natty is forced into, force is the wrong word, Natty is in a storyline with her dad all over it?
Bubs, you're talking about the same company that had Paige go out and cut a promo on Charlotte Flair and about her brother that just committed suicide.
I know. I'm not asking you what the company does, because they always do it. I'm telling you as a fan, do you like it? Do you love it? Are you indifferent towards it? Does it matter?
Completely indifferent towards it. Absolutely indifferent towards it. Don't care. The match itself, I don't really... This is one of those, like, okay, let me go grab a beer, let me make a sandwich kind of match where I'm not going to pay a lot of attention to it, but I don't really care which way it goes.
We would think, looking at this from, I guess, an objective standpoint, that this is a chance for Natty, being the much older, seasoned person, to put Ruby over, right? But maybe we're not quite going to get that, because the storyline has been Natty getting revenge on her dad's name being thrown around and all the stuff being said, but the tables match kind of makes it a little bit strange. So I don't care either way. However, the storyline has been more important than the match.
And I don't even think the storyline's been that good.
Okay.
I'm actually going to pick Ruby Riott here. I think that they're going to keep... Because there's a lot of potential there with Ruby Riott. Yeah. And I think they want to just kind of start building her momentum back up, because she was challenging for the title not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of keep that momentum, build it up again. And I think she beats Natalya here.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to take Natty, only for the sake of being different here, because we need to add some of that, and this is one of those chances where I can say that hopefully that she'll win, but then obviously Natty gets attacked by the Riot Squad or something after that to further this, or do something for Ruby to look dominant in some fashion, because that's really what this comes down to.
And this is the first time I've differed with Vegas. Natty is actually a -600 favorite, so a pretty substantial favorite here against Ruby Riott. So this is one of those, I'd plop down 100 bones to win 400.
Yeah.
Ruby Riott's a plus 400 underdog, which, she's got the Riott Squad with her, so I feel like that is a big advantage for her. Maybe it's one of those freak things where Natty pushes her off the top rope into the table. I don't know. But I'm going Ruby Riott.
All right.
I think it makes sense.
Now, Bubs, if they give them time, they could also fuck around and put this match on the pre-show, but the SmackDown Tag Team titles, Triple Threat style.
God.
They're
going to. The Usos are the kings of the pre-show.
Exactly, and the rest of this card, not to say that the other matches are more significant, but this is one of those, because they just did a rap battle, Bubs, in the ring.
With the bar.
Right? So it seems like they don't, because they know that any of these teams can go out and put on some stellar match work. They're like, we can risk you guys going out and doing a rap battle for some nonsense, whatever. But the bar,
they know
the New
that
Day,
the in-ring
Usos,
product's going to be there.
Right, which means they know they can carry this one and throw it on the pre-show to make people tune in a little bit early.
I hate that logic.
That logic is sound.
It is, and that's why I hate it.
Okay. Well, the bar have to lose the titles here, though, right? Can we agree on that?
Do they?
Do they? I don't know. Let's talk about it real quick.
I don't think so.
We need these.
It's not
this
going
tag
to be the
division.
New Day.
It's not. It's going to be the Usos. But this tag division needs to be expanded a little bit, does it not? We've seen these same three teams the past 2 years.
Okay, well, either way, it doesn't matter who holds the title then.
Separate conversation. That was a separate conversation.
No, this is exactly the same conversation that you're saying. You say it has to be, the bar has to lose it so that way we can get new tag title challengers up there. No, that doesn't make sense at all.
That wasn't what I said. But
that is exactly what you said. You said there needs to be new blood, and the bar has to lose for that.
Man, you're right. You're right. I made two separate points. You're right. And the fact that I said them back to back made you think that they were connected.
Use a comma then. Maybe
use a comma. It's a semicolon.
You are such an. Okay, so here's the thing. It doesn't matter who wins this match. New blood in the tag team title in the tag team division has to happen. Period. I completely agree with you, and I don't think it matters who wins to have that happen. So the bar is going to retain. But what kind of new blood is there going to be? I mean, what other tag teams are waiting in the wings on SmackDown? These three are amazing tag teams. But that's why we've only seen these three, because what else is there? Where the hell is Sanity?
You are telling me Sanity can't compete at their level.
Clearly not, because they haven't even been on TV in months.
As a fan, are you saying that? Or as a guy trying to predict what WWE thinks, that's what you're saying?
As a frustrated fan who's also trying to predict what WWE is thinking, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, because that's nonsense.
When was the last time you've seen them on WWE television?
It feels like War Games last year.
Exactly.
It does. It really does.
Exactly.
Alexander Wolf.
Which was a great match. Such a good match.
It was better than this year.
But where... No, it wasn't. But where... You're stupid. But where have they been?
They've been not there.
Exactly.
And I don't know why.
Are we going to... I don't get it.
Doesn't matter. They're not involved here, Bubs. So the bar retained...
Carl Anderson and the Good Brothers, they're going to show up, and they're going to...
Go to Japan.
That wouldn't be bad.
That's fine for them.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
But they don't want that because they're making money.
And
we've talked about this. They are in the stage of their career where they're just trying to make money.
Yes, and they happen to make money off of this and of anything Bullet Club related. So they're fine.
I like the Good Brothers. I'll wear some Good Brothers t-shirts.
I wouldn't buy one. I'd wear it, but
I love that stuff.
Okay.
But we've mentioned Sanity. Who else on SmackDown or maybe NXT? I don't know who else can step up and be thrust into the SmackDown Tag Team division.
I don't think they're going to put anybody up from NXT right now. Right, the War Raiders. It's not time. That's too soon.
I just need an answer.
I don't have an answer, because where are the colognes? Where are the colognes?
The colognes? They're busy hosting timeshare meetings in Puerto Rico.
You should go to Puerto Rico.
I've heard really good things about it. Shout out to Liam Zai.
Big plug.
Yes, love him. Also, if you're watching this, Liam Zai, I'm thinking about hosting a new sports talk show on Six Star Productions YouTube, which we're live on right now with the Collar and Elbow Wrestling Podcast.
We can talk about Tampa Bay.
I would love for you to join me, but yeah, the colognes, get out of here, or we're gonna bring back Carlito and Chris Masters.
We're not. There's no one else to plug in there right now. They need to make some pieces. Pieces need to move.
Retains.
The Usos win to move on towards the Rumble. And hopefully to WrestleMania, and it should be a good match to see. Hopefully not on the pre-show, though.
Bubs, this is probably one of the closest betting odds, because all of them are...
They should all be close.
All of them are pluses. So you've got... The Bar is favored at plus 130. The Usos are at plus 140.
Okay.
And then Vegas is like, no, they're not having it with the New Day. They're plus 305. So we can all say the New Day's not retaining or not winning the titles here to become 6-time tag team champions, right? 6-time at this point?
I think it would be. We got to move away from them, though. I'm still waiting for that.
The Bar retains, though.
Okay, well, let's move on, bub. Let's talk about the guitar. Let's talk about the ladder match. Elias, our boy, getting a big face push as of late. That album is hot. He's got heel Bobby Lashley. Leo Rush will be around.
I was watching Impractical Jokers today, and Q on Impractical Jokers was wearing a Walk with Elias t-shirt.
I would love that shirt.
It's so good. It's like
so
old
good.
School, like WWE Raw or WWF Raw in the design. Oh, it looks good.
Man.
Elias looks good.
He does, and he's extremely over, so we'll see what they do. And this is a good feud for him to win.
I think it is too, but that means he's not going to.
It makes sense that he loses, right? Damn it.
Which is why I'm picking Bobby Lashley.
Okay, I will pick Elias.
Bobby Lashley is the heel that they're trying to build up, trying to build some momentum for him.
To what?
So might as well have him. Let me finish my point.
No.
So if you because you have someone like Elias who's extremely over right now, you don't need to have him win because he's already over. So you don't have to throw him that bone. Lashley needs to build momentum. And to answer your question, I don't know to what, because I don't know what they want from him. Do they want him to be in the main event? Isn't that why they brought him in?
We thought it was.
I thought so.
For all that gold draped around him?
Yes. He was so good in Impact, Bubs. He was good. He was so good.
And now we're getting some different stuff, and you're telling me that they want to make him...
Leo Rush is going to get involved. That's all I'm saying.
That's fine, and that's some great heelish stuff. I'm okay with that. But you got to give me a clear picture on Bobby Lashley. They made him this weird face that just hung out with people when he first came back, did some tag matches and did obstacle courses.
And he smiled, did a lot of smiling.
Yeah, and now he's wearing a leather jacket and glasses, or a leather vest, and I'm supposed to believe that he's the next badass heel?
He's got Leo Rush, Bubs.
Nope, stop. There's other big badass heels on that show that I care more about. I care more about Baron Corbin. I care more about Drew McIntyre. I care more about Brock Lesnar's heel character than I do
You care more about Paul Heyman than...
Sure.
Yeah.
1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Anyway, give me Elias for the sake of Elias, and God, do something great, Elias. That's all I want.
Okay, well, Vegas has Lashley as a favorite here. He's the betting favorite. He's at minus 160. Elias is at plus 120. So it's a toss-up.
Close.
There it is, a toss-up. But yeah, I feel I'm going to go with Vegas on this one. You know, when have they ever been wrong?
There you go. Put your house on that one.
Stop doing this, camera.
Fix your content, Bubs. While you're doing that, yes. I'll bring up our next one, because we're going to talk about Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor. Finn Balor has traditionally been used as the mid to upper mid card guy that people go into feuds with to go over on. Right. So what is going to be different here that would make you say Finn Balor is going to beat Drew McIntyre?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing, right?
No.
Okay. And I actually have no conversation on this one unless they happen to pull out some demon Finn Balor crap by chance, and then he wins by dirty roll-up. But even that, nah, you know?
And here's the thing is that Finn Balor is another one of those guys who doesn't need a big win. He's someone who's always going to be over with the fans. Drew McIntyre needs the win. So I'm going Drew McIntyre. I mean, it's as simple as that. He needs to keep building momentum because if you're going to have him win the Royal Rumble possibly, you know, he has to have wins like this over an established star like Finn Balor, a former Universal Champion. What better way to build towards the Universal Championship than to beat a former Universal Champion?
Exactly, and I hope that is part of his next promo on Raw the next night or the week after, saying that he beat Finn Balor, who was the first, and now he's got his eyes set on the current. That's exactly what I want to hear. I hope Balor continues to stay in this mid-card section where he puts people over. That's really, he's good at that. So, no problems there, Bubs.
That's so... You're such a hater of Finn Balor.
I'm not. You don't love the guy either, Bubs.
I don't, but some of the things you say... He just keep him in the mid-card, putting over people where he belongs.
It's what he's good at. He can't be the top card on my program. I'm sorry. So, Bubs...
2 years ago, he was... His first match on the main roster, he beat Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. I mean...
I miss Roman.
I do too. Where is he? Roman, I need you to get... I spend time with your family. Just get better soon. Rest. Your body needs it, but we'll be ready to have you back when you are healthy. And healthy is the key term. You know, this is not something you rush. So
the WrestleMania main event is waiting for you.
It will. Next year is going to be huge.
Bob, speaking of main events at WrestleMania, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Asuka. Women's Championship, triple threat. How do you feel? TLC style.
I feel good. Oh, by the way, Vegas on that one has Drew McIntyre as a heavy favorite. Minus 600. Finn Balor plus 400. So, but yeah, this is going to be... Becky Lynch is she the best thing going in wrestling? Period?
She could be the hottest current thing in all of wrestling right now because everything she does, every word she types on Twitter, every promo, every match, everything she does is just
How
it's hot.
How long have we pined for this moment? Every major event, who have we always said this person needs to win?
Becky Lynch for the Royal Rumble.
This person needs to win.
Becky Lynch for Money in the Bank.
Royal Rumble, any kind of battle royal, triple threat, fatal four-way, we've always picked Becky Lynch. And the time has finally come. She's become the guy.
She is the man. She's the guy. She's everything we want. She's so unique, right? She's not a heel. She's not a face. She says what she wants. Everyone pops for it. It's all great shit. But she's also forcing change on other people. Like, to see what Charlotte did to Ronda last month with the kendo stick was because of what Becky did.
Right.
To see Asuka grab a kendo stick last week and do what she did to the two of them is all because of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is forcing change in this women's division across both brands. And it's unseen. It's unheard of.
Right. And do you kill that momentum now? Do you have Becky Lynch lose?
It doesn't kill the momentum, depending on how she loses.
Are you sure?
But I think that what we all want, because let's not forget, please, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch is still the play.
At WrestleMania.
Yes, at WrestleMania.
The main event.
So, absolutely. So, in order to make that happen, we have to take a title off of one of them. And there's enough time now that where some of us can forget a little bit about the Rousey-Lynch feud, just a little, and then when it comes back up, it's huge again.
So do we have Lynch win the Royal Rumble and switch to Raw?
That's the play I would like to see.
Right.
Because everyone would be behind that.
Raw's got nothing going on right now. At all.
No, there's not a whole lot there.
Why not have the hottest commodity in wrestling go to Raw?
Yes. And that's kind of what I want to. That's what I want to see happen. So I am totally okay here with Asuka winning this match, becoming your SmackDown Women's Champion again, and holding it for really as long as she wants, or as long as Charlotte says she can have it. And then we get other stuff happen from there. Bubs, how do you feel?
I also feel that Asuka's the right play here. They've been building. They've kind of come back around to her. They've been building her, very well over the last few weeks. And right now is the time, and it was the right time to pull the trigger last year at WrestleMania, or this year at WrestleMania, but, better late than never, right?
Yeah.
However, Vegas does not agree with us. They have Charlotte as the favorite to win this match, which I could see WWE doing.
She just won it, though.
Exactly. But she's well on her way to 16-time women's champion.
Yeah, believe it or not.
But she's the favorite at plus 135. Asuka is at plus 180, and Lynch is at plus 175. So this is as pick'em as it gets. But I do think if you're building towards Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania, Becky can't hold the title because she can't have champion versus champion at WrestleMania. So I think Becky loses it here, wins the Royal Rumble, decides she wants to go after Ronda Rousey.
Love it. And that's something everyone would be behind, and that's a great story as well to keep interest in the Becky Lynch saga after she loses the title. That's great stuff right there, Bub. So let's jump to that real quick next. Ronda and Nia Jax. The build hasn't really been there. They used Nia saying that she busted Becky's face, about a month ago and all that stuff. And
they've made matches before in the past.
Sure. But this kind of chicken shit type heel Nia Jax character that they're playing doesn't fit her well.
No.
Because when you're as big as she is, you can't really play it that way because it's not believable. Like she should be able to stand.
You have to be a monster.
She should be a monster type heel that does, chicken shit type stuff when it's advantageous, not when Ronda's running to the ring and she bails out of the ring. That's not believable. So
right.
I really don't care much about this one. I would like Ronda to retain for the sake of continuing her reign and seeing where this goes after that, and just letting Nia do something else, because Nia has all kinds of potential. Whether it's good or bad, face or heel, doesn't matter. We just got to let her keep figuring that out, and this is not it.
No, this is not it at all. This is just something I feel is just kind of thrown together to kind of have Ronda Rousey on the card.
Yeah,
Nia's getting booed out the building, not because she is a great heel, but because of something that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, this is X-Pac heat here, not true heel heat. So this is a no-brainer. Like, come on. I honestly don't want to see Ronda wrestle until WrestleMania because she doesn't need to. I mean,
her work rate is crazy compared to what you see in Brock. Her rate is high.
Good for her. She wants to get better, but she doesn't need to. She can just coast to WrestleMania, and it won't hurt her credibility at all.
Right.
So, I don't. This is an easy one. This is Ronda. I don't really care that much about it. But that's... I mean, even Vegas has her at a minus 1050.
Oh, God. Big money.
You would have to plop down $1,000 to win $100. That's how big of a favorite she is. So, there's really not much more to talk about on this one.
Okay. Let's move on to a little more interesting thing, and that is the new Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, Bubs.
I am kind of tired of that moniker. I wish they would stop. That's one thing I hate about WWE.
They're plugging it hard.
That's one thing I can't stand about them. Once they have something, They just have to keep beating it down until you hate it.
Yes.
And I hate the new Daniel Bryan.
It is the new.
I love the new Daniel Bryan as a heel. I love how much he loves being a heel. Because you could tell, you could see it, and that makes you believe it more. That makes you invest more into it when you can just tell that that they've invested 100% into it and they love what they're doing. And you have to remember what got Daniel Bryan over in the first place was him as a heel. The whole yes thing was to garner heat after he won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
He took something that Diego Sanchez did during one of his fights, walking down to the cage, just kept screaming yes, yes, because if you keep telling yourself yes, positive things are going to happen. If you be positive, positive things will happen to you. So, and that got him over. The whole yes chant started with him as a heel. So, I was very happy and excited to see him as a heel. And AJ Styles is he's one of the greatest performers of all time. Can we agree with that? As an in-ring competitor. Ooh, lost you there for a second. As an in-ring competitor.
Yeah, lost you.
Yeah. AJ Styles is one of the best of all time. Can we agree with that?
We can.
Okay. So, I mean, what more can you ask for in a match?
Not a lot, but if you're expecting this to be from bell to bell something great and amazing,
I'm not saying that.
You got the wrong storyline.
But you can't. You've got two people in there that aren't going to just coast.
Sure, unless they're told that the Daniel Bryan heel character is about to coast, which I think is much more likely here.
And that's not something Daniel Bryan would do, and that's not believable. So you can't really have that. Bubs, we're talking about my two favorite current stars right now, and one of my top 3 of all time. So you're not going to hear me say a bad thing about this match. Of course. So
I'd like to see Daniel Bryan retain here. There's a lot of potential that goes into a storyline here with him and, of course, The Miz. It can still be AJ Styles. It can still be a lot of people. Let's not even discount Samoa Joe in the future. But the Rumble,
I want to see The Miz turn face against Daniel Bryan.
A full face turn for The Miz is probably unexpected, but he can float the gray area for a bit, I think. Or
have them be tag team champions.
I'd hate that, but
that's old school WWE booking there.
This Daniel Bryan stuff here has some good WrestleMania potential if they book it right, so I'd love to see it go down that angle, Bubs.
When are people going to start bringing like mufflers and like smoke clouds into the arena?
I lost you again.
God damn.
What'd you say, Bubs?
I said
mufflers.
You heard the muffler comment. Start bringing mufflers or smoke clouds or something into the arena for Daniel Bryan.
He'd hate it.
God.
At least some creative signs that say something like that.
Yeah. All right. But I'm picking Daniel Bryan just like you.
Very good.
He's a minus 420 favorite, so he's favored pretty well. And AJ Styles is plus 300. But Daniel Bryan is the right pick here. There's a lot more moving forward that you can do with him rather than throwing the title back on AJ. I don't know what they do with AJ after this. He needs rest because just watch the WWE 365 on AJ Styles. You wouldn't know it by watching, but for the past 4 or 5 months, he's had a torn hamstring.
Really?
Yeah. So,
well, that'll do it to you.
He needs some rest. So, hopefully after this, he gets some much needed rest. Maybe he pops back up for the Royal Rumble. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give him January off.
And he'll need to be involved in WrestleMania and something, at least a lead-off match type stuff for him. That's a great way to do some stuff.
Would be a good
okay.
match.
You're making me believe some stuff. Anyway, let's move on from there, Bubs. Let's discuss the one with the most storyline credibility to it right now and circumstance, Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin. If Braun wins, he gets Brock Lesnar at the Rumble. If Corbin wins, then he gets permanent general manager status.
Yes.
So which is more believable? Braun versus Brock at the Rumble, or Baron Corbin no longer being a full-time talent and being a manager?
Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I mean,
yeah,
you can go ahead and mark me down. Braun's going to win this. Vince is going to come out, and this is, I want to talk about Vince being on. It was just announced that Vince McMahon's going to be on Raw because there needs to be a shakeup. I
like them announcing it before TLC like this because it adds a lot to it. And Corbin was even tweeting this. He retweeted the WWE retweet saying he's going to get like a pay raise or some shit. Like I love
exactly
that.
What he said.
I love that.
But instead, Corbin's going to lose, and he's going to be groveling for a job, and he's going to get the whole "you're fired."
Oh, they won't tell him that, but
well, at least fired as GM, and he'll have to earn his keep. But I think that with that announcement of Vince being on Raw, I think it would have been better if it was surprise. Corbin loses, but he kind of still feels that he is going to keep his job, like he has some kind of plan up his sleeve, and he's cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, and then Vince's music hits, which I think is going to happen anyway. That's what's going to happen on Raw. That's how Vince comes out.
I love when Vince's music hit. It's such a big pop. Everyone can hate on him. You all bow down to him. Quit acting like you don't.
There's no chance in hell that Baron Corbin
doesn't
get the "you're fired" on Monday night. But Braun Strowman wins. In my opinion, your opinion, it sounds like, and in Vegas's opinion, he's a minus 400 favorite.
That's it. Oh.
Yeah, Corbin's a plus 300. So Braun's still the clear favorite, but not by a whole lot.
Okay, well that's because he has this lingering injury thing. He hasn't been on TV for a month now or so, or 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting, Bubs. But I like that. I'll be paying attention to that match. It is a TLC match itself, so that's going to be great.
But
so I'm looking forward to
that. Which I think is going to be the main event.
Sure.
Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins for the IC title.
You think it will main event, right?
Yes. There's no way they're putting the WWE title as a
no.
event. Are you kidding me?
They can't do it.
That's insane.
I think that Strowman and Corbin will main event, but this one has been the most built as of recently because the storyline is supposed to be phenomenal.
Built that well. So.
Oh, it's exactly my point. This storyline between Rollins and Ambrose should be a lot better. They've done some
amazing. There was so much heat for when Dean Ambrose came back, and there was so much anticipation for him coming back, and then he does, and then he turns heel on the night that Roman Reigns makes his announcement. You get the "no, Dean, not tonight, not on a night like this."
Yeah, we didn't get what we wanted the subsequent weeks after that.
And of course, are we surprised? It's Dean Ambrose. I mean...
Yep. Okay. Glad you said it.
He's not a good performer.
He's not that good.
No.
He's not that good on a promo. He's not that good of a heel character. He's not that good of a face character. He's not good as a wrestler. So, he's in the middle ground. He does some things well, right?
He was in CCW, Bubs. He was Johnny Moxley. He was crazy and kooky.
That says something. Was anybody else in Combat Zone that's made the main roster? Can you think of anyone off the top of your head? Because so quickly you can't, right?
No, because I was thinking Impact, Sami Callihan. He's main eventing Impact.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it speaks a little bit to where he came from. He came up a little bit differently before he got to Florida Championship. So it's just different characters. It's some people like him, some people don't. You and I are very anti.
People love him. People are obsessed with him.
He has gotten some crazy amounts of love.
He was one of the worst WWE champions in modern history. He's had some of the worst matches in modern history with his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Hated it.
His Asylum match with Chris Jericho was god-awful. He hasn't done anything that I've gone, wow, this guy's got it. He hasn't. He's bland as a character. His in-ring style is ultra bland. Not good at all. But people love him. I don't get it.
Maybe because he's the everyman. He looks like your cousin, kinda, or like
he looks like your cousin. Your cousin that's been arrested 3 times. That
he used
a little too much at family reunions. That
he used to be into drugs, but now he's off that. He replaced it with liquor, hard liquor, and it's just like, he's out. He goes to the gym a lot and he works out and he eats well, but he also
I remember when he
gambles.
I remember when he returned from this previous injury, and everyone talked about how he's so yoked. He got so jacked. And I'm just looking at him like, okay, so maybe he's got some traps now, but that's it. He's not huge. Like, he's not Drew McIntyre yoked.
No.
Like, he's not. Everything he does just gets, I don't know, just exponentially grandiose in the mind of his fans. It's just like, he could do no wrong in some people's eyes, but in my mind, he can't do anything right.
We say all this, Bubs, but he's winning the Intercontinental title tomorrow.
He is. He 100%
so
is.
He is.
Wins when he goes home.
He has to win, right? Because this means, for the storyline to have any bit of successful payoff, I think it's good that the heel wins. Right. But more importantly,
we also want Seth Rollins to move forward.
Yes, we need Seth Rollins doing other things. Now, he might have to deal with this Ambrose thing a little bit longer. I understand that, because that's how the storyline should have been built. It should have been long and deep, and he'd have to fuck with this guy until Mania, maybe. But let's get out of there. I want him. If Brock's going to be Brock until Mania, then it has to be Rollins at Mania, not McIntyre. And I would like to see that be the push. Maybe that's the Rumble. Right there is him winning that. I'm totally on board with that if that's the case. You kind of
took the words right out of my mouth.
Good.
That Rollins wins the Rumble. Like that, with Roman Reigns being out of the picture for the foreseeable future, there has to be a guy that takes a hold of the reins, no pun intended, and grabs the brass rings. And what better guy than Seth Rollins, a guy who's proven that he can be at the top and can perform at a high level, unlike his counterpart here, who's going to win the Intercontinental title, and that title is going to go by the wayside. Like every title that Dean Ambrose ever holds, he did it to the Intercontinental title. The Miz had to revive it multiple times.
Yep.
AJ Styles had to revive the WWE title. So Seth Rollins needs to be the face of the company right now.
And what you want going forward is you want Seth Rollins and McIntyre at the top of your card after Mania. That's what you want.
Yes.
You don't want Ambrose up there. You don't want Brock. I'm okay with Braun in certain circumstances because I think he deserves some of that for how well he's done over the past 2 years. He should be involved in that. But if you're talking consistently, your 2 best performers, your 2 go-homes, your 2 guarantees, it should be Seth Rollins. It should be Drew McIntyre.
And what better way to have Seth Rollins be coronated as the guy than to have him slay the beast?
He needs to beat Brock clean.
Exactly. 100%
Something like
clean.
It needs to happen.
Yes. That's how you make the next big star, and who better to have it be than Seth Rollins? Then you can have Drew McIntyre take it off of Seth Rollins.
That's fine.
But Seth Rollins becomes the ultimate hero, the ultimate Kingslayer. He was the Kingslayer. He becomes the ultimate Slayer, the Beast Slayer.
Beast Slayer. Ah.
Yes. Could you imagine the Beast Slayer knee?
Oh, that'd be great.
He's already curve stomped Brock before.
We can't be booking WrestleMania right now, Bubs.
I want to.
We need to
I'm
slow
already
down.
seeing the match happening in my head.
I know. But that's the way through TLC at least, because then we get to the Rumble, at the end of January, Bubs, and that's where a lot of stuff. It's very important because that's what sets up Mania. But to set up the Rumble, we have to do some good stuff here, and all of our predictions here are going to set that up appropriately. Mine will more than yours, of course.
As always,
but yes.
Vegas has Ambrose as a -195 favorite, so he's favored, not by a lot, but Vegas also sees it that this is the smart way forward.
Okay.
But yeah, that's TLC, Bubs. I mean, there's not much more we can say about it. It's going to be an interesting card, to say the least. It's not that interesting going into it. It's going to be a lot more interesting coming out of it.
Right.
But you wanted to really jump into Wrestle Kingdom this week. Wrestle Kingdom 13, which is coming up in what's that date? You keep rattling it off, so let's hear it.
Do I? Do I rattle it off?
You do. It's annoying. It's annoying listening to you.
I've had to say it like 3 times to you because you're like, do we even care about it? It's not even close.
I never said that.
No, you said you didn't care about the date, and then the other day I'm like, it's 3 weeks away, and you're like, oh God, fuck, is it? Oh.
No, you're making shit up now to make
am.
yourself sound better.
But it's January 4th, Bubs. Okay. We are 3 weeks away, give or take a day or two, and there is some hot stuff on the card. But what I really wanted to say was that we'll get into some predictions, in the next few weeks for sure. We don't have to talk about that now. But
I haven't done enough research.
No. In my probably 5, maybe almost 6 years of paying attention to New Japan closely and caring about it like a major wrestling product, I have never disliked it as much as I have over the past 6 months, and that's because
Kenny Omega is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
That's exactly why. And all the other stuff, the undercard, the tag scene with fucking Tonga and Tonga Loa, I'm still okay with that. But the spot where we should be caring the most at that IWGP Heavyweight title,
which is the one match that we've looked forward to year in and year out.
Yes, because it's delivered.
AJ Styles and Okada, when it was Okada and Tanahashi, Okada and Omega. I'm starting to feel a trend here that it's a match that we're excited about when you have the two aces, one of the two aces involved, either Okada or Tanahashi. And luckily, this year we get one of those aces, the original ace. Hiroshi Tanahashi will be challenging Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and in my opinion, plucking it from him as he should, because this Kenny Omega run as champion almost feels like, and I've read a bunch and watched a bunch of videos and documentaries on Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in the mid-90s. And I remember, Bret Hart talks about when he talked to Shawn Michaels about what he's going to do when he wins the title. He talked about, doing programs with all his buddies. I'm going to do a program with Razor and Diesel. I'm going to work with the 1-2-3 Kid. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Kenny Omega's done. He's won the title, and all he's done is worked with his buddies. If he's worked at all.
If he's worked at all, and all he's done is promote other things outside of New Japan, like All In, and like anything Young Buck related, and merch.
And he's done nothing to further the title, which it's one of those things where the man makes the title doesn't make the man. And he hasn't made the title. The title needs a little more polishing now.
Yep.
It's kind of been rusted. So it's really a shame what's been going on with, in my opinion, the most prestigious title in pro wrestling. And it's almost as if they've taken a sports entertainment route with it rather than a pro wrestling route. And that's a real shame, because New Japan has prided itself on being pro wrestling. It's in the name, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm hoping that the luster that has been added to this title gets taken off once Tanahashi wins it, and eventually, Okada wins it. Yes,
back to Okada. It's got to be the long play. And you say this being like a sports entertainment, little smell to it. I'm not even sports entertained by Kenny Omega
No.
and this title reign. I have said for sure that he's the number 2 or 3, depending on how I'm feeling that day, 2 or 3 best wrestler in the world. Not taking anything away from him. When he's the seeker,
maybe?
when he's chasing some stuff,
yeah.
then it's amazing. You put him at the top here, and when he won, you and I had a great show. We said, this is the biggest, most important title change in New Japan history, maybe in WWE history, all of wrestling history, right?
Right.
Because of the things that he could do by branching the 2 major continents of wrestling.
Exactly.
And
this was supposed to be a part of the huge North American push for New Japan.
Right, and we had a good G1 climax this year, earlier in June, April, June, whatever that was. And outside of that, we had All In, and that had a stench of New Japan all over it. But no IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So
he was on the card, though.
He sure as hell was on the card, and of course he won, and he put on a good match. But New Japan is pro wrestling, and I want to see great pro wrestling. I want to see a champion defending numerous times. I want to see you involved with all kinds of different people on the card. But you kind of got to step away from the Bucks.
the Jericho Cruise.
Yeah, he sure did.
He did that.
Yeah.
No, with the Elite Bubs, and he wrestled Ibushi and.
Oh, we got some Golden Lovers. Oh, my best friends.
Those guys.
Yeah. So, point is, Bubs, the reason I wanted to bring this up is Evil. Okay.
Ibushi. I mean, not
when,
Ibushi.
Ishii.
Ishii.
I know what you meant to say. Tomohiro. That's what we want. The point is we need... Who thought we would be saying this even now, Bubs, but we need Tanahashi all of a sudden in his older age. We need the Ace to come back and do some stuff. We need the Ace versus, anybody. It could be Naito. It could be Jay White, who's the future as well. It can be Okada, obviously.
You want to talk about the future? Will Ospreay's the future, Bubs. I've said that for a while. And he's filled his body out. He's looking good, Bubs. And he could still flip around, even though he's added some bulk. Come on now.
That poor card on January 4th is going to have no chance of competing with Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay.
No.
They have no shot, and I love it. I will be up at 2:30 a.m. If it leads off the card, I'm ready.
It's going to be so good.
Point is this card is stacked, but this is it's important time here for Wrestle Kingdom because we need a little bit of a change at the top to affect the rest of the bottom, and we're going to see where guys like Ospreay and Ishii, because Ishii should lose. He should lose his the British Heavyweight Championship. He should lose that to Zack Sabre. That means he can move
Zack
up.
Sabre's the future, Bubs. There's so many young, promising stars here.
I know.
This is exciting.
It is.
Zack Sabre Jr., by the way.
He's all these white dudes, man. Jay White in here, Kenny, Ospreay, Sabre.
So many white people. All these white.
I gotta say it. It's fucking great, man. They're gonna put on amazing matches. But as we get towards the end of the year, Bubs, we need to start talking about matches of the year because there's several that have happened in New Japan this year. Performers of the year, champions of the year. There's a lot of categories we're going to start to push out.
And there's so many categories that we can sit around and think of, but why not have the people at home, come up with some categories for us? What's the best way for them to come up and let us know what their categories are? Man,
if they know how to use social media, that's a good start.
If they knew how to just get on Twitter.
If you could send us a message.
At the bottom left of your screen.
Oh.
There is all the ways you can get in touch with us on Twitter and on Facebook. Because we're on Facebook at Collar and Elbow Wrestling. That top one right there, you just search that, and boom, you found us. And if there's other Collar and Elbow Wrestlings, which maybe there are, but they're just imitations, just look at the top right part of your screen. That's our logo. That's how you're going to know that you found the right place. And you let us know what are some of the categories for our year-end awards that you want to see. Already we're going to have Match of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Superstar of the Year, that kind of thing. But we want to hear some fun stuff. Come, be creative. Let us make us squirm a little when deciding who these winners are
Or make us do a little research, like something really specific. Like
I don't like to work. I already work enough during the week. I don't want to have to come here. Work.
You don't get paid for this either, so.
I don't. In fact, I pay for this. So this sucks. Oh, by the way, Canelo just won by 3rd round KO.
Did he? That was tonight. Canelo!
Yeah, not surprising. I definitely saw this outcome coming. But yeah, social media, we're there. Come find us. Talk to us. We love talking to you guys. You can download us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play. We are on YouTube. Just look up 6 Star Productions. Once again, look for this logo. That's your top right of your screen, Collar and Elbow Wrestling logo. We also have some video game videos on there. There's going to be more being added. I am also working on a sports-related talk show that I'm going to be adding onto there as well. So a lot of content coming for 6 Star Productions on YouTube. So please join in the conversation. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk sports. Let's talk whatever you want to talk about, but let's talk. Let's grow this community. Let's become the best in the world. Sorry.
At what we do.
Oh, jeez. But yes, thank you for joining us for episode 54, talking about TLC. Tell us what you're most excited about this weekend. Tell us what you're most excited about Wrestle Kingdom. We can't wait to hear from you. We can't wait to see you again. Guys, love you. Love being here. Yes, peace, pound, sign, whatever. See you guys next time. Episode 55 is gonna be huge.